which would be surprising to say the least, but it could happen. That'll be good headway towards getting the request list done. Of course, I do only have 3 hours to do this. And based on how Sonic 1 went, well, we'll see. I do have the addition of Tails to throw at boss fights, so got that going for me. And the movement does feel almost completely different. Like, they maintain the same momentum, but it interacts a little bit differently. And that's something I think you'd only really be able to tell by having the controls in your hand and feeling it. The best way I can explain it is Sonic felt heavier in the first game. He feels a bit lighter and freer in this one. Which, feeling heavier is better for momentum, but this is better for feeling like you have more control and feeling the acceleration a little easier. And of course, as was talked about before, we have spin dashing now. I don't know if you can drop dash in this one, because I don't even really know how to do drop dashing to begin with. I know that's something Sonic people have talked about. Like, it's something involving just being able to go into a spin dash on contact with the ground. The amount of bullets I'm getting hit by from off screen is already upsetting. I was in the ceiling. Oh, we missed that checkpoint, but that's fine. They do seem to be more generous with rings in this one. Like, there seems to be more of them in the stage. That may just be because we're hitting high concentrations of them at this exact moment. I should have been spinning. I'm mad at them about that, but that's also my fault for not just spinning everywhere I go. I made the mistake of trusting the game, and we all know better than that, don't we? Trust not the Sonic game. The Sonic game will kill you. And it will also lie to you and make you think you didn't have a spin going when you ran into that enemy. What I'm assuming happened is the frame I hit him, I probably hit the floor as well. But I'm going to disagree with it anyway. Like, saying it was the exact frame is probably a little over-specific, but you get the point. It probably was a very tight, unfortunate timing. The checkpoint just above us, but that's fine. We don't need those. We're in the first act. Well, first zone. We don't need to worry about any checkpoints yet. As Tails gets mauled by a spike that I almost... Oh, I guess I needed to have gotten that from the other side. Just note that down in my brain for the inevitable second attempt. Just bear in mind, we have not tried and failed this one yet on camera, so we are not going to be save stating yet. Oh, this one I can pass through. Okay. 7 more rings. 2 more to go. There we go. Extra life. Which is also a charity a lot of people participate in. Kathy, thank you for the raid. What were you up to today? Hopefully all had a grand time. You are just in time for me starting Sonic 2, having finished Sonic 1 as part of what I owe for the Donathon that is still ongoing, which is why you see a timer on the screen there. And of course, if any of y'all need to raid and run, and please make sure to do so. It is always most important to take care of yourself. Birthday calf raid. Happy birthday then, Kathy. Did not realize it was today. I missed the memo on that one entirely. Go! Free the animals! Hooray! That is very strange. Hang on. Let me deal with it. There we go. I will say that in the chat since it seems like Kathy might not be able to hear me. Hopefully it'll fix after a moment. You missed what was left of Sonic 1 there, Natra. We made it to Sonic 2 now. I actually managed to get through it in one go, without needing to use the save state. We were down on the last continue, but we did make it. Doing what I do, tech supporting while scrambling around, you know how it be. Now this is the area I'm very familiar with as far as water anxiety music coming into play. Spent a long time dying here. There we go. We almost have enough for an extra life again. Now it starts doing the thing with the funny blocks. Right, the pipes don't exist. And end of act. Hooray! These do feel like I'm getting through them faster, but that might just be because I'm more familiar with these. There we go. So I forget what the difference is in how you get the special stages in this one versus the other one. I think you get the special stages at the checkpoints in this one, or is that 3? Never remember. Because even when I was playing this the amount I did when I was younger, I did not really seek out the special stages. Okay, that just led to some rings, nothing useful. Well, rings are useful. We've already established how useful they can be. Not as useful as, say, the items that are down there, though. There we go. Oh, right, this is one of those you have to hold jump and hope for the best type deals, isn't it? Or is it up? Might be up and jump. Sonic, please. Sonic, please! Do I have to press jump at a specific time? Now it's just not working. There we go. Okay. Now I'm back down here, though, because it won't... I think I have to, like, actively reset the bridge there by going back. There it goes. On the bright side, an important lesson in how those springs work. I don't think this is the pipe I wanted to go in, but we're going this way anyway. Because all the pipes do, after a fashion, lead in the correct direction. Oh no, this did lead to 20 rings, so this might actually have been worth it. I just know there's a pipe or two that lead in a much better direction, into a better place. I just don't remember where they are. Because it has been quite an amount of time since the last time I played this one. Welcome in, Angel. I hope you're doing well today. There we go. There's the extra life we were trying to get. Gotta hedge my bets as much as humanly possible here. Avoid the inevitable. Oh, right, you have to actually jump when those springs come up, or the spring don't sprung. Right. That's fine. This is where the majority of people probably experience the underwater anxiety music. Possibly not this specific vertical section itself, but like just in these vertical water sections in particular. Bye, Tails. You'll figure it out, buddy. And I'm gonna have to figure it out too now. Oh, I'm lower in the tunnel too. I remember dying exactly like this uncountable amount of times. There it is. There's the fear. Nope. Denied. Okay. It's very handy that I'm much better at platforming than I was when I was... God, I don't even remember how young I was when I really did anything with this. It was a long time ago. That's the easy answer. A long time ago. In a house somewhat far away. Sounds good, Natra. Drive safe. Right, that's instant death when you get dropped in the water there. Right. 'Cause they thought that was a grand idea. Another reason why people end up stuck here in Chemical Plant for a long time. Because if you don't know that's gonna happen, you will just get dropped in and die instantly like I just did. Okay, let's stay to the center of the arena this time. Tails, if you would actually do something useful, that would be great, little buddy. Or you could just keep dying. I guess that's an option, too. I knew he was one hit away, so I just didn't worry about grabbing the ring. Alright. Boss fight dealt with. in infinitely less lives than any time I did that back in the day. You love to see it. As a little bit of context for everybody who's come in from the raid, because by now it should have caught up properly. I have to clear this game and... well, let me just pull up the list for y'all, because it'll be easier for me to remember exactly what I owe for the Donathon so far. Because it's a sizable list. I owe Sonic 2, Donkey Kong Country 1, Mario 1, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, Hollow Knight, and Hades 1. They are not all to be completed during the event, because, let's be real, there ain't gonna be enough time for that, at most likely. But they are guaranteed to occur. And that's just the games I owe from the event so far, not even counting the art stream that's required, and the voice-acted reading stream. But suffice it to say, the community has helped out a lot and given me quite a lot to do. But there is still time yet left in the event, so... if anyone wants to add to that list, all it takes is $10. Then you can add to whichever series you wish. And obviously, the equivalent in gift subscriptions counts. Doesn't have to be a donation or anything. Donations are preferred because those go purely where they need to instead of paying Twitch, but you know. Do what is comfortable. And of course, make sure you are financially sound when you're doing any of these things. I would mention that there were other goals to reach, but those goals all got smashed already. Aside from, there is $70 left to force me to have to do a karaoke stream. So, if anybody wants that, you know. You can always work towards that, though. Depending on how the timer looks right now, this may very well be the last night of the event, so... there will be a little bit of a time crunch on getting that incentive to happen. And if people are so inclined. Doing a lot better than I used to at this. But I'm also not just spinning around like a silly person, because I found that to be more fun back then. Aquatic Ruin Zone. They're back. It's easy to lose track of where you are when you do those special stages like that. Especially here, where we were up against an invisible wall. Oh, a hidden wall, rather. Because the wall itself was very visible, and that was the problem. I do enjoy the sped-up music. Just pure chaos in audio form. I'm gonna hedge bets and grab air here. As I've been wont to do. And if anyone wants to request a addition to any game series, you're also welcome to do so, because previous donators have given their choices to chat. As you can see at the bottom of the screen there are 7 choices remaining that are free to use. I am going to still retain them to being 1 per person for the moment. So if you want one, you get one. There goes my shield. Needed that. Was rather attached to it, or at least it was attached to me. Oh no. Precious oxygen. Air! Liz! Thank you. needed to clear this jump. That was the problem. Oh, and I need to do better at using these springs. Ah, there we go. I remember getting stuck there at least once, because I was bad at using those springs. Thanks for taking that arrow for me, Tails. I feel less compelled to go out of my way to get rings, because there just does seem to be just more of them in these stages. I say as I lose, like, 30 rings, but, you know, it's fine. Probably. Okay, it's becoming less fine by the moment. Who am I kidding? Those arrows are also kind of hard to see, I'll be honest. Especially against the waterfall. And with what the waterfall probably does to the bitrate, I don't think any of y'all are going to see them either. I don't think I needed to do that, but it's satisfying splitting those pillars. Ah! Till they do that to me. Oh, guess we're down here now. You want to check a thing. Okay. Wanted to check on where the timer was at. Is I don't have the timer visible to myself. I actually have to look at OBS to see where the timer is at and what's going on with it. Oh, right, I remember the bit with this now. You gotta use the arrows to get up to Robotnik to hit him. And sometimes you'll get hit by the arrow tip as it's entering the statue. Because that's helpful. Case in point right there. All I need is one ring. Just like hit points, the only one that matters is the last one. Tails, I'm gonna count on you for that, bud. Get him. Or not. You could just, I guess, not get him. I thought you'd be dead by now, Robotnik. There it goes. First try. 'Cause that one's not that hard, as long as you don't get clipped by the arrow as it's already entering the statue. Laugh with me, Tails. Laugh with me. Ha 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 ha. And now Casino Night Zone. A very visually busy place. Still remains one of the ones I like though. Just because you actually get to, like, control the flippers and things like that here. I find that fun. It's definitely better than the one from the previous game, in my opinion. It's also, if you're aiming for score, a wonderful place to get all kinds of free points. Don't really know how much that helps in practical terms, but, you know. Depends on whether you actually get continues based on score or not. Actually, not even 100% sure if this one has continues. Much like I wasn't sure about continues in the first game either. Because remember, I'm not really the Sonic guy. I know more about basically, I would say, almost everything else other than Sonic. I mashed instead of holding. That's why that just gave me the most, like, limp launch possible. Whee! Help. I've lost control of my life again. That's what gambling does to you, kids. You lose control of your life. Help. Whee! You know, he may be a hedgehog, but I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day right now. It didn't take the jump. I definitely did press jump as I crossed that box. It just didn't wanna. I'm gonna get crushed between these boxes at some point. Not those two, apparently. I mean, you're technically correct, Zin. You're technically correct. And how you been? It's been a little while. Hopefully all's well. As I just slap these weird hot dog looking tambourine things. Eventually we will get further up. Come on, Sonic. Show us some of that speed. Understandable. Christmas be brutal. Eh, doing fine at this point. Been an interesting month or so, but you know, that's kind of the nature of life at this point. And that statement, though, does want me to remind everybody, be good to your retail workers and your delivery people, because man, are they going to be going through it right now. Like, a lot of others are also going to be having a rough time, but they in particular are going to be having some of the worst times because of the season. I know I've been harping on about that basically every session this month, but, you know, it's a thing. As one who went through retail hell, I feel for those who are still stuck there. I may not have ever had to do delivery, but I've loaded enough vehicles to be at least partially understanding of the pain there. Gotta avoid those guys with the spears, because their shields will just straight up block you. You will not be able to pass them conventionally. No, I wish to slot machine. No, I want the slot machine. I don't need to, but I'm gonna. You cannot deny me. I will land in there eventually. Yeah, you know, it just makes sense. And while, you know, downside as far as getting paid goes, at least you get some rest instead. Unless they just had you do something else, which wouldn't surprise me. Jackpot, jackpot, jackpot! Extra life! 2 extra lives! And you might have gotten an idea why I like it here. Yeah, I can see the nice side on the money there, since I assume that would have been primo overtime. Oh no, no. Okay. I didn't expect them to be kind enough not to crush me there. I expected to be a Sonic Pancake. Didn't people make those at some point? I feel like that was a thing that happened, and they mostly looked horrifying. Kind of like the Sonic ice cream just did not work out well. And that's not even talking about once they started melting. Ugh. This slot machine sucks. We're just gonna leave that one. That one's awful. You gotta know when to leave a shitty machine. Besides, I can just go into this fancy dimension full of rings. Why would I even need a slot machine when I just have the ring dimension? The ring dimension is totally not on Sonic just sitting here making piles of counterfeit rings while he's high on unknown amounts of substances. I think we can do this without having to do the spinning. Yeah, so far we're making good progress. At 140 rings. This might be where it starts becoming a problem. Especially if Tails keeps exploding and losing the handful of rings that I've been depending on him for. And then it just didn't take my input to rotate around. Thanks, game. It just started just not taking it. So I'm instead taking bombs on the chin. Is when it does those harsher curves, it just does not seem to like letting me move. But we got not through. We didn't get the emerald because we didn't make it. But that's okay. We still got more rewards than that, so it's fine. We got 8 lives. Who needs a silly Chaos Emerald? Not me. Totally not me. Oh, god damn you. You and your shield. Ah. Oh, of course it disappeared the second I went to land on it. Okay. I forgot all about those weird snake platforms. I think I always avoided them. Let's go this way, then. Wherever this way leads. The answer to that might be nowhere. Sonic? Why didn't you jump at any point there? Oh. So much for all those rings we had, but, you know, we got 8 lives and at least a continue, probably. But we haven't seen anything saying I have a continue, so maybe I shouldn't count on that. Yeah, you know, Tails, you probably have the right idea there, buddy. Not often his AI has good ideas, but that might be the one time. And yeet. Let's go gambling. Ah, dang it. Well, I can go back into the special stage at least. Now, that may have seemed like I purposely did that. I can assure you that I didn't. but it was very funny timing. And I think this is going to be the exact same setup again. I believe, depending on the stage you're in, it's the same one every time. It might also be depending on how many you've succeeded at. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's very much an either or there, and I don't know which way that goes. Now, I know I keep throwing Tails under the bus by stopping in front of the mines and then moving at the last minute, but at the same time, he could move. He has enough of, like, independence that he could just move. He just chooses not to. Get 140 rings. Ideally without getting blown up as much this time. Tails, what did I just say about getting blown up, buddy? Work with me here. As I get blown up again, is it again just starts eating them inputs? And how are you supposed to see that mine coming? Nope, didn't make it again. I think I hit the exact same 2 mines that I hit last time. So I start talking shit and I get punished for it again immediately. Which really shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. Oh, right. The funny boss here. This is the downside to this area. Is this boss fight kinda sucks. I'll be real with y'all. I don't like this boss fight. This is very easy to end up in a bad position. I'm sure people that know what they're doing can probably just park themselves right on Eggman's head and just destroy him. The fact you fall through the flippers when you get hit, for example, is a problem. Thank you, Tails. At least you have Tails to catch rings for you now, so it's... that angle's a little bit better. Unlike the shot angle I just had. But, like, this room's big enough that you'll easily lose track of where Eggman is in the room, so you just have to kind of hope you land on him if you end up high up. But I assume the play is probably to stay low if you can, so you can hit him more directly. You know, unlike what I've just done there over and over again. Don't you look at me like that, Eggman. I don't know how many hits I've actually gotten. I really have lost track when I've been just kind of around like this. Oh, of course that counted as me getting hit and not him getting hit. Of course it would. Of course it would. Why would anything else be true? That's probably also a move, is to just go flying up the wall and jump off it. Or Sonic will just hop in place. That's a thing, I guess. I don't think I've ever done that before. I didn't even know that was a thing you could do. But, like, bouncing off the walls is obviously going to be way more consistent for actually landing hits. You know, unless you hit the damn bumpers. The thing I love about this stage, but also the thing that causes this fight to be a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's definitely the move, is just get a rhythm like that going and just jump back and forth. There we go. Yeah, that was absolutely the move. And more animals liberated. Hooray! As Tails continues to liberate himself from this partnership over and over again. Only to be drawn back into Sonic Purgatory over and over again. So fun fact, I don't think I ever got to this zone when I was younger. Outside of, at most, maybe one time. And I think that was a time where I was just tagging along as Tails. This doesn't seem so bad so far, but I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Is it's gonna? I think we all know at some point the shoe's gonna drop. And it's gonna land on my head. Then I'll wear that shoe as a hat. Cause that's how you gotta roll with things in life sometimes. You put something on your head, it's a new hat now. Boing. Boing. That was absolutely unnecessary, but it was fun. Slow ride. Oh, it's a snake of some kind, I guess. Actually, no, it's more like a dinosaur, because it did have a body. Just something with a really long neck, so it looked like a snake. Yeah, I'm not using that spring. Okay. You know what? I deserved that. I deserved that when I said no to your other spring. Ah, there's a hidden spring there. That's how you get out. Okay, we're locked in here. Oh, and the room's moving. What was I supposed to do? I guess I was supposed to wait. The fact that we had very square lava there was interesting. I don't think you were supposed to be over there. I just get this sneaking suspicion that maybe you weren't supposed to see that. I needed revenge. And let that be a lesson that revenge is usually a bad idea. Because all you're gonna do is hurt yourself too. Somehow, some way. Unless you do it properly. You know, that involves a lot more planning than me slamming my face into the thing that offended me in a previous life. Hop, and a hip, hip, hop, and a hip. Did the wrong thing again. Straight to the underground. You know, I probably should have grabbed this shield last time, huh? That probably would have helped. Wouldn't have saved me, but it would have helped. Except that probably would have happened anyway. Because I would have been less careful because I had the shield. You know how it goes. I understand how I operate. Probably the only one that understands how I operate, really. Even then, it's debatable whether I understand how I operate. It changes so often, really. Oh, the platform left. Come on. Okay, that's fine. We lived. That's what matters. We lived. No fun allowed here. I understand. All things considered, I think we have already gotten further in Sonic 2 than we did on our first try of Sonic 1. I feel like that's kind of expected, because I don't know if this is true, but I feel like Sonic 2 is easier? I would need somebody who knows better than I do to answer that one, though. I can only go off of current results. Okay, that almost went poorly, but it worked out. There was so much room for that to be a complete disaster. Ah, they replaced spike balls with fire. Okay. Don't have enough. I think it's 50 rings for the special thing to appear. Okay, we can jump high enough for that. Okay. I was just trying to navigate my way to the right, but... yeah, that works too. Ah! Oh, the lava's still rising. The tide, she rises and wishes to end me. No. No, I wish to leave. Goodbye. Good day, sir. You end your lava, I can have a good day without me involved. One of these times there's gonna be spikes on the ceiling where it's sending me. Like 100% there's just gonna be spikes waiting right at the top up for me to slam my head into and become a new decoration. You know, I deserve to be punished for my showboating there. I wanted to be fancy and bounce off him and go to the ledge. And, well, that immediately did not work out. And there's where the special stage would have been if I had rings. Oh well. You know, I should have assumed there was gonna be consequences to my actions there, but it didn't matter, he's dead already. Sometimes the risky play works out. It's not like we were keeping those rings into the next stage anyway. Yeah. Mystic Cave Zone. I remember only seeing this in like the multiplayer mode. So you could just kind of pick your stage in like that weird like race mode. Really sure what I'm getting into here. Aside from danger. Definitely danger. Okay, good. There wasn't death directly underneath me there. Good news, everyone. 30 more rings. Come on. And it's gone because that thing apparently is just indestructible once it gets its light turned on. Understood. I didn't expect to be damaged by just a light bulb. Like, sure, light bulbs get hot, but come on now. Sonic a vampire suddenly? Honestly, don't answer that because there's probably a universe where he is a vampire. Someone out there has made that. And we all know why, and we just don't need to discuss it. Yep, had a feeling I was gonna get crushed by one of those at some point. I got away with entirely too much along the way there. Eventually something had to have gone wrong. We... Let's try taking some weird routing. See if... Oh, never mind. Guess I'm not going through here. I kind of thought I could knock that over, but apparently not so much. Where's... Oh. Okay, that's what I'm being messaged about. Okay. I will attend to that in the future. Was making sure there was no sudden surprises or complications or anything to worry about. Not that I have anything coming up that would be relying on other people at the moment. But now and then things happen, like amongst the group at large or such, that I need to keep an eye on. So again, don't have too much to look out for in that regard either. Right now, because the group's not really doing anything special, aside from things amongst themselves. Why did I take a hit there? The light wasn't even close to me, so I don't know why I got hit. It was certainly interesting. Where was this invincibility earlier, when I actually needed it? There we go, get a fresh invincibility. Grab these rings in case I actually get to hang on to them long enough to use that. Yeah, I kind of figured I was screwing myself by doing that. Good luck knowing that that was there without looking up or doing what I did, which was just happened to end up hitting it. There we go. Part 1 of Mystic Cave done. We're making good time. Making quite good time. But I don't know how many acts we have to get through here. Acts, zones, whichever thing it is. I'm already getting them crossed in my brain. Of course, we had to have at least one weird Newton's Cradle thing. Gotta show off the fact that they know how to do that. There we go. Oh, these speed shoes are so gonna be the death of me, but you know what? I have them now. Oh, we'll deal with that later, because bonus zone. Yeah, see, we're still in this bonus zone, so yeah, it's based on how many you completed. I couldn't remember, and now I know for sure. Now watch as I hit the exact same landmines again, because I didn't learn anything. I wish that was less true than it actually will probably be. Because my retention for things like this does not exist. I'm gonna be real. Especially since we had multiple stages between when we did this and doing it again. It's like, oh yeah, that sure is a concept, that there were mines, and I ran into some of them. Where they were? Somewhere. Like, I know they're at the 140 part where it was an issue, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna avoid them. Like, they try to actively guide you with the rings to avoid them. I tried to recenter That was the problem. Okay, I avoided that one. That was the other one I usually hit, I think. But not quite enough. We were closer. But at least I only hit one mine that time. Instead of two. Take what benefits we can, you know? Brain, do you want to talk about why you jumped at that, or are we gonna leave that one alone? Yeah, you know, I'll just spill that one. I thought it was a platform, I'll be honest. I looked at that and went, oh, it's not a swingy thing. It must be a platform. Because I didn't even look at the end of the vine until too late. That's when the sudden alarm bells go off in the brain. Like, oh no! Abort! Abort! Whack. Right side, we are getting a great rebate on all of the rings we lost. Thank you for the shield. That will be helpful. And we get to try the special stage again. Remember what I said about Groundhog Day? Yeah. There we go. I should probably just stop, like, actively recentering myself. I do that because it'll automatically do it too. And it just feels better being in the center, even though they like to put a lot of mines there, as you can see by this is gone. I suppose being a little bit more proactive. Oh, I didn't actually make it that time at all. Because I ended up doing a little bit too much spinning. As much as it's a good trick, it wasn't a good trick in that situation. And I actually lost my rings too. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, and it's just in time for the boss fight, too. Great. That's what you needed. And we're dead instantly because he just hits a point where he just is a threat, I guess, for some reason. And look at this. They put the rings tantalizingly close, but you cannot get to them. So I'm gonna have to do this fight without getting hit. All because they decided that's what needed to be true here. Right, it's only the underneath. Despite the fact that the side of that drill is clearly not going to actually be a threat to me. Clearly it has to do damage anyway. Okay, those do actually matter. When all the other ones didn't matter, I just started getting lazy about that. Turns out the sharp ones do matter. I'm sorry, what? Did I touch the flame and not notice? We're just losing lives left and right here now. We went from doing fine to just die. Okay, now that the drills are sideways, now I can safely attack him. And attacking him from underneath as well. Though I gotta be careful about attacking it from underneath, because apparently sometimes I'll just die. I think I might just have to take my time, since we are so bereft of lives at this point. Try to just get as many double taps as possible. He shouldn't take too awful long to take out. Yep, there we go. Okay, we managed to pull it together on our last try. Oil Ocean. Bye, Tails. What? Oh, this is gonna be a weird place, huh? Okay, so we got breaking floors, weird things that make you spin around sometimes, flying octopi that shoot at you, and oil vents that blow their top occasionally. Wouldn't have minded getting those rings, but I was more interested in not falling back down to have to go back up again. Oh, there's fans. That's what I didn't spot on the first one. Okay. For some reason, I just completely didn't see the fan at the bottom. Okay, we got seahorses, which I do not want to attack from below, apparently. That goes poorly if I do that. Very nervous about riding those fans. And honestly, as one should be, probably. Oh, I don't know if I was supposed to get up here this way, but I'm up here now. Two rings. I'm really desperately trying to get an extra life after how things have been going. And my lack of knowledge of what I'm getting into. Oh, well, extra... there it is. Let's go. Gotta actually lock in and do better this time. He says, knowing he's not going to lock in at all. I keep trying to preempt the one that appears on this side, and I instead get it wrong. Come on. Bye, Tails. Enjoy exploding, little buddy. I feel like I got less rings than I usually do out of that, but we'll see. Might work out in the end. Okay, we at least got enough to get through the second set. With a couple to spare, so maybe it'll be okay. Also need to remember that I can jump when we're doing these. Not really sure how helpful that'll be in this specific special zone. No, the landmines! One short. If I hadn't run into that mine, we would have gotten it. Urgh. I got so thrown off because I was talking about the idea of jumping, and then just suddenly, bleh, everything went wrong. And now we have no rings, so we are not getting an extra life. I hate it here. Hey, why are a bunch of pings? Oh, okay. Surprised I'm seeing so much about that. Suddenly, huh. I've now done that twice, even though I don't think I've ever managed to do that weird hop ever before. And it's throwing me off so hard when it happens. Oh. Good thing I didn't need any control of my life. That's for other people to have. Wait, I want that. Coming up there, you can't stop me. I feel like I probably actually want to just drop off that other side, but we're gonna follow the line here. Because I can't trust it also to not be a death pit over there, since I don't know the lay of the land well enough. What was Oh, okay, there's a fan there. I was like, what am I standing on? I'm just standing on air. Which, you know, Sonic already runs on air sometimes, but that's a whole other thing. There was an extra life back there, and I didn't get to have it. I don't think I can get back there either. I would have needed to have known that was there and avoid going the way I went. Am I going backwards? No, I think I'm going forwards. It just feels like I'm going backwards. This place's layout is a little weird. Oh, I thought I saved myself, and sort of I did. That was just a bad situation in general. Okay, we're out of this act, at least. Really need an extra life. Just gotta be in turbo caution mode, I guess, now. Say as I recklessly leap at multiple enemies back to back. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, there's nothing up there. I was hopeful that that would have been like a... Oh, there is something up there. Just not from the angle I expected. That one gonna come back down? I don't think it is. So I think we're SOL on getting up there that way. There's another cannon here. I guess we can just use that one. Where am I going? I don't think I wanted to be here. No, I don't think I wanted to be here at all. Oh, this is when I have to press in. Okay. Yep, nothing I could have done about that. The positioning was so bad. Well, correction, there's one thing I could have done that would have been wait a while for him to move forward and hope that he didn't just decide to shoot again. Because they really do have such an incredible advantage over you since they can shoot diagonally at you. So your main approach to them is covered by where they're shooting. I don't need those shoes. I needed to see what the box was, because I only caught the edge of the box. Special zone this time, but that's probably fun. That was another extra life we just flew past, wasn't it? Can I get back there to get to that? Probably not. Stop me trying. Come on, Sonic, look down. That's just death down there. Okay. I have no idea where I am or where I'm going. I'm just kind of hoping. There's a shield. That's better than nothing. I'm just very upset that I think I've missed 2 extra lives in this stage so far. There's a checkpoint there. That's worthwhile if I had lives. Oh, this is gonna be bad. At least I have a shield for this. Oh, it hits you just if you end up on top of it at all, I guess. Okay. What was I supposed to do there? Come on. Well, the answer is probably duck under it instead of jumping over it. Got him. Okay, first try. Let the sea claim him. Making good headway. Making good headway. Don't mind the sprite flickering. Everything's fine. Probably fine. Metropolis Zone. Ah, that's how that works. Okay, we've got Death Starfish. Okay, I just... Well, I'm already gonna love this zone. Lots of opportunities to get shot from the edges of the screen by those starfish that are hard to see because they're in the wall. These steam things will hurt you randomly. You get launched up into death crabs, you know. Just a great place. Oh, and you could get crushed to death because you go too early and immediately get a game over. Okay, we did get continues, so we're not done yet. We actually have 2 continues, which makes me very happy. Let's see about doing a better job of keeping our rings this time, shall we? Or, you know, the shield will take a second to spawn in on me, and then I'll get hit anyway. I meant to take that hit on the shield just to avoid getting hit there, because I didn't think I was going to have time to avoid it otherwise. And, you know, bad things happened. There's just these exploding starfish bastards everywhere. This place is a nightmare. There's just so much death everywhere you turn. This might be the single most hostile zone so far, which makes sense. They're always going to keep getting more dangerous. But it's just like, wow, man. For the record, I started pressing back to the left immediately upon attaching to it, but it took just enough right input as I landed on it that it counted. You know, why am I even using that? Let's do it. I'm just gonna drop down. That's safer than fucking around with these stupid screws. All they're gonna do is screw me. They've done some fun 3D effects in here, and that's about the nicest thing I can say about this zone. I wasn't sure if there was gonna be spikes on top there too or not, so I didn't go too hard. I feel like this is the better path to take, because it's the harder path to make happen. So there might have been items where I didn't go. some slight regret about my path in life, but you know what? You know what? Maybe there was a lot of regret, actually. 50 rings worth of regret. Just think, we'd have 80 rings right now if that hadn't happened. Huh. You know, maybe this is better. Yeah, let's look down first. Because there's the obvious go straight across path, but what's down here? They've just gone nuts with the nuts, it seems. Okay, sure. See, this is why I dislike things like this, because you can very easily just lose control of your life. Because it just launched me off before I even had a chance to respond. Okay, this is back where we just were. So basically all I did was bring myself to the alternate path that I left behind. And gain invincibility that I didn't need. Well, anyway. Going back up where we just were a second ago. Dum-da-dum-da-dum. Okay, now let's go this way this time. Oh. I meant go that way when we actually get to the part that was different. Some of these jumps look the same, so I can't always tell what I'm doing. Or, you know, I'll just go over here, I guess. I just completely botched everything involved with that. Why do I have this feeling that I've somehow managed to magically avoid, like, everything good in that stage? Like, I just somehow managed to weave around every item. I just have a bad feeling that that's true. Sorry, Tails. Only room for one on that raft. And there's the instant karma. You know what? That's fair. Oh, come on now. I had no way of controlling that I would have flowed right into him. Come on. Okay, these grab hold of you. To a slight degree. Keep that in mind. Yes, moving platform. Take me to victory. Take me to somewhere, I guess. Okay, okay. I knew I was gonna go too high, but I fucking did it anyway. Every time I have a good amount of rings again, it's just like, but what if you didn't, though? What if you didn't have anything anymore? Like, I'm doing a fine job of avoiding the actual death traps, and I'm just turning random other things into death traps for myself. That's what's happening here for the most part. Like, if Eggman actually looked at what was succeeding in his works here, I think he'd be very confused. I shouldn't have done that. I just wanted to see what he was guarding. Turns out he wasn't fucking guarding anything. He was guarding my own hubris, and I jumped right into it. there's a checkpoint there. Oh. God damn it. Hey, look, all these rings that would have been a huge help if I hadn't already squandered so many. That platform coming back? I don't think it is. That is such a pain in the ass jump to make. I guess we're going this way, and we're just gonna have to be sad about our lack of rings. What did I just say? We're gonna be using our other continue here in a hot minute. Well, not really so hot a minute. It's gonna be a very lukewarm minute. You know, I knew he was there. We learned he was there when we were here before, but for some reason, my brain didn't consider that that was going to be a problem. Like, I was going to catch him by surprise enough or something that he wasn't going to be an issue. Ignoring the fact that he's a robot. Robots are kind of hard to surprise. Oh, if only we had the invincibility Tails has. Case in point, a perfect reason why we would need it, because we just get randomly shot by starfish. I'm waiting for the time where I get caught between the teeth of one of these gears and I just die. Because we all know what's gonna happen. Eventually, I will end up in just the right position where I get crushed. Like, immediately. And then we learn where chili dogs come from, and its previous Sonics. And that's why Sonic enjoys eating them so much. Turns out Sonic's a cannibal. Who knew? Maybe that's why Amy chases him all the time. Take him to dinner was a whole different meaning all along. What? Sonic, please. Actually get up there. Fooled you. They really do give you a lot of rings in here. Because they know you're going to be losing them left and right. I couldn't get control of the damn nut fast enough. As I saw him, acknowledged he was a threat, tried to correct, and it's just like, let me think about it for a second. Ew. Like, we are very much in the failing forward phase of things. Like, I'm not managing to get through clean, but I am at least making forward progress happen. We're just gonna hit a point where I don't have enough lives left to keep tanking my way forward. So glad you could join me again, Tails. Now, if only you could do something useful. Why is this one being such a pain? There we go. Nope. Well, I didn't intend to come down and kill him, but I guess that happened. We... Wah! Wah, wah, wah! Whee! Waha! There we go. That's 2 acts of Metropolis, so now... Fuck's sake. Let me actually pause a second here. I should have done this while the ad was running, but I didn't think of it. Let's see. We have 3 more zones left to go after this. It's slightly longer than Sonic 1. That's what I thought I remembered, but I wasn't certain, so I wanted to check. Now know how many more acts I have to get through. That information is going to be a blessing and a curse, I suspect. Okay, that wasn't solid, and I didn't know that till now. The arm is solid, but the wheels the arm is spinning on is not. Let's see. Go this way. They made this a nuisance to get to, so I'm gonna hope that that's a positive. Why are you on the ceiling? Why are you like this, huh? I get wanting a new perspective on life, but why? You're a robot. Oh, can't get those 10 rings. Love that for me. That door doesn't open. Lost those rings. Lost that ring too. I have to assume there's... Yep. I was gonna say, I have to assume there's ground there because there was the ring box there. Ignoring the fact that they would absolutely do you like that, where they would make it look like there's gonna be a platform down there, and then just kill you. Just fuck you in the bands you like. Oh, glad I kept that shield for so long. Of course I found the one spot to land on. That would be bad, huh? The one spot. Oh well. Why is there a crab being a ledge guarding fuck everywhere I go now? Why? I feel like I'm playing Smash Brothers all over again. Everybody's just edge guarding and being a prick. Case in point. Huh, I was just kind of stuck in that animation that whole flight. Interesting. I was half expecting there to be something waiting to kill me on top of that ledge. Holy shit. Okay, we lived. We lived, we learned. We didn't laugh very much, aside from hysterical laughter. Unless we start making a profit on lives again, I really don't see us managing to win this run. Look at Tails dancing. He's having a great time. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's trying his best. Fell for it again. I don't know why I keep falling for that. I really should know better because I see it sitting there. And I obviously can read the damn angles just fine, just I keep thinking I can actually outpace it, which is obviously completely wrong. I just don't want to yield right away to a damn starfish. I saw that coming, but I had already started spinning, so I'm like, nope, I'm gonna finish spinning this because I'll be able to outrun it. Dead. 2 continues in Metropolis Zone. Yeah, this is not looking good. You know, when I said it's not looking good, that was not your cue to make it worse, game. Just saying. Just throwing that up there. Why do I even bother attempting to have rings? I'm clearly not allowed to have nice things now that we've gotten this far. This is all karma for me saying this game's easier than the first one, isn't it? This is all just me being punished for saying anything of the sort. I did that thing again where I leave rings behind. You know, rings I'm invariably going to need. I am nowhere near good enough at this to avoid needing them. Like, I can take some solace in the fact that I'm better than I used to be. But that's not really that much of a thing, because I have done so many other things much better than my younger self ever did, so... You know, that's part of growing, is doing better than your past self did. I would certainly hope to be still growing and learning. You don't even need to have that ledge retract, but they do that just to thumb their nose at you harder. Thanks for getting another ring, Tails. Appreciate it, buddy. If I hadn't jumped again, I would have been fine, but I panicked. Remember what I say about learning? And the fact that you should always be learning? Don't be like me. Learn from your mistakes as well. And let me tell you, boy have I been making a lot of them today. They really do try to make you avoid that ring box at both of those spots. You dodge the mantis and end up jumping over the ring box by jumping into the bounce pad set. That's exactly what would happen. Because it's already happened. It has happened to us twice now. I get the idea here, because it looks really cool when you have all those enemies exploding behind you. But boy oh boy, you hesitate even for a second, you're gonna get spiked. A lot. How are you supposed to avoid him? He is off screen until it's too late. And it's not like you got a flat piece of ground you could stay on either, or to try to get a feel for the terrain you're getting into. That one was my fault. I jumped into that. Because I jumped expecting it to be angled at me, and it wasn't. That's all I have to do to foil these things, is just literally just park next to them, because they always fire her at angles. Like that. But that one was at the top, so there really wasn't too much I could do about him. can reach all of those. Oh, we made it. We were like a foot away from making it the first time, in other words. Oh, this seems like such a fucking crapshoot. Yeah. I had a feeling I was just gonna get destroyed there. Grab some rings, and then we'll go back in there. Like, just trying to time in between the spins there just seems like it's gonna be really rough. Case in point, I really thought I had an opening there, and I didn't. I guess the idea would be to wait for him to spawn a bunch of them so that you're less likely to hit him. Hit his little hologram egg things. Because I can just tank the hits and pick up the ring again until we clear enough of these that I'm less likely to get screw-jobbed. Oh, but now he's got a laser. But he's dead. Okay. Only took one extra try. That's not too bad. That could have been a lot worse. Or at least out of Metropolis Zone now. Honestly, for the first try in a long time at this game, I am overjoyed with the results. I can only really do vertical. If I do horizontal, I'm going to fall off the plane, I think. Oh god. Oh no, I can do horizontal, it's just janky. Oh, this sucks. It sucks so much. I think the best play, though, is just going to be to avoid everything as much as possible. Yeah, the fact that they let you get to the very edge of the plane with your back foot is what's really screwed with me about being able to move horizontally. Oh, of course you have an attack at that direction, too. Of course you fucking do. You fucking would. Okay, they can be killed. Suddenly went on a mission of vengeance there. I assume this is my target. I want to get on here, and that'll probably be the rest of the zone. Or not? This is just showing us the future. Rude. Oh boy. You'll notice they try to keep formation to block you too, which is so rude. What? Ah. Oh, that's neat. I can actually move Tails around even when I'm not connected to him. That's neat and really weird at the same time. No, I wanted those rings. Wing Fortress Zone. Okay, Sky Chase was really short. Okay. Bye, Tails. You'll be missed. Whee. Okay, there's less left than I thought then, because there's only one other set of acts after this. Though I remember when I watched other people play this that these areas are a nightmare. Like, as you might expect from the end of the game. Oh, come on. And that's the other problem. Is managing to squeeze under that without falling off is a thing. Bye, Tails. You'll be missed again. I think I'm on my last continue as well, so I think we might just be SOL on this attempt. Unless I really pull it together. Here. Which, the bright side is, we do get lots of rings. I just need to be able to get past this little section here. And I missed, because I tried to pull it to... Oh, I do have a continue left. So we did have 3. Okay. Hang on, this attempt has legs yet. Sonic doesn't anymore, because he fell hundreds of miles down, but, you know. He got better. Yeah, the hardest part seems like it's gonna be just getting past that flame without falling. I wouldn't even mind taking the hit from the flame at this rate. Oh, I don't even need to duck. Well, that would have been good to fucking know. You see big flame, you assume it's going to roast you if any part of it makes contact with your body. I think that's a reasonable expectation to have. Especially considering everything else that's hurt me before. Nice. There's apparently at least one Sonic game where Sonic will actually react to you getting 69 rings. I think it's Colors? He'll just, like, laugh about it when you get it. That's such a dick move. Literally waited till I jumped for it and just pulled it out from under me like a child stealing a football. And if you just don't grab far enough on that, you just lose. You just get fucked. Ah, this is so brutal. Like, and it's not even that hard, it's just, you make one mistake, you die. And that always sucks. Like, high stakes like that are always real rough. Like, it makes sense. Like, you're on a flying platform. Of course, you're at constant risk of falling to your death, but that doesn't mean it's fun. You know? Honestly, kind of miserable. Like, props to them for actually, like, designing this and making it look cool. And it's a really nice set piece, all things considered. Just the difficulty is nasty business in here. Okay, we get up here. I'm not actually gonna take that special zone. I want to keep my rings. I need an extra life badly. And we've already demonstrated that I cannot seem to succeed at... Fuck you, game. That was them just screwing me over. There was nothing really I could have done about that. It's like, hey, how do you feel about being set up for failure? Because that's what just fucking happened. Why did you lose speed so badly though, Sonic? Why do you suck at your one thing, which is speed? Like, don't get me wrong, tactics-wise, it made sense for that gunner to be sitting there. But the fact that he shot faster than the other gunner we had encountered is the thing I call an issue with. Look at this one that's just firing wildly where he knows we're gonna have to go. It makes sense, but, like, could you fucking not? We... You know, that would have been a great place for me to have gotten that one up if I hadn't lost my 98 rings. Oh, this is going to end in tears so easily. Yeah, they're retracting as I go. Okay. Ah! Well. I had control of my... What the fuck is that game? God, I hate this. Like, I was kind of okay with this for a while, but now I genuinely hate this stage. We're getting so badly robbed here, it's not even funny. Well, that's helpful, I guess. Like, the amount of those little tiny launch pads that are on the ground that I have run into without realizing they're even fucking there is really way higher than anything like that should be. I don't know if y'all noticed, by the way, but it invisible walled me as I jumped over there. It didn't actually let me jump fully off in that direction. I think it would have let me skip a couple things, so they couldn't have that. Third checkpoint. Oh, and now we're inside. Okay. Less likely to fall immediately to our death. Oh, boss fight time, that's why. See the idea here, but enacting the idea is going to be troublesome. Especially since that laser also hurts me. There was no room to fucking move in there. We did all of that just to get screwed by a garbage stage design and a nasty boss fight. I hate it so much. The worst part is, we're probably going to be able to get solidly forward and then we're going to run out of time. For tonight. That's the frustrating thing. Why the hell am I getting, Hang on. Okay. Sometimes things just come up that I gotta take care of right quick. Nothing big, though. You know, the funny thing is, I've already forgotten, like, the layout of all of these stages. At least in terms of active memory goes. Because it's been long enough since we were here that it's like, oh, you don't need that memory anymore. You don't need that information. I'm already doing infinitely worse about collecting rings as much as we did in the last go-around. But we haven't gotten hit by as many fireballs, so it kind of balances out. Please. Take care of all of that. if I can just do a bit better than I did last time on lives, we might be able to make this one salvageable, but it also will depend on the timer being increased enough that we can actually make it happen. That is very much a we shall see scenario. Char, thank you for the raid. What were you up to today? You're just in time for us to be restarting our run of Sonic 2 because we failed in the second to last act. But we've beaten Sonic 1, so we're making good headway. Oh, right, I did see that. How'd the repo go? Hopefully well. Hell yeah. You'll love to see it. And well, to explain what's happened up to this point, we somehow managed to get through Sonic 1 literally in one go. We were on our last continue and we managed to make it work. And then here in Sonic 2, we got through a lot of problems, lost all of our continues in Metropolis Zone, and then failed in the Wing Carrier, or against the boss of that area. Yeah, that's understandable, especially with the VR version. I'm glad it worked well enough that she was able to play for a long while, though. Wrong way again. That's fine. Yeah, if anybody needs to raid and run, please make sure to do so. It's more important that y'all take care of yourselves at all times. But I will still be here for a good bit yet, trying to clean up what I owe everybody that's donated up to this point. Mostly by beating up Eggman. Yep, I'm trying to see if I can make a winning run in here in this final hour. Though not with performance like that, I won't. That's for sure. There we go. And remember, if anybody wants to end how this goes, everything does count. It doesn't count raids as well as I would like it to with this new timer. That is the one annoying thing. Is it just doesn't count very well, like, at all. But the trade-off was manually having to do the donation ones or having it counting raids in a good way. So I opted to take the donation one since that was something that caused me to have to stop a lot when we did the last one. Yeah, basically anything will count towards extending the time or otherwise, so you got options for trying to help hold this together if you want to. And there's still plenty of free choices for unlocking games in series if anyone out there wants to. Those 7 free choices you see on screen are genuine, just free for anybody to use, though it is still 1 per person. So if you want to see a game get played, let me know. Just no Kingdom Hearts and no Undertale Deltarune. Those are the only rules. Ideally, it's things that I will not have to buy, but things can be arranged if it comes down to that. It just may mean that those will be much later to be done than other options. But to bring everybody up to speed on what's in the list right now, obviously Sonic 1 and 2. Then we got Donkey Kong Country 1, Mario 1, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which is going to take a while, Hollow Knight, Hades, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. And these are not... well, they're going to be done in order where possible. If I end up running into an issue too badly with any of them, I will start cycling them around a little bit, just so we're not playing the same same game every day. Till the end of time. Because let's be real, that will get uninteresting for everybody involved rather quickly. And what it might come down to is I may free up some of the schedule by only dedicating like a day or two a week to catching up on Donathon stuff so we can still fit in collabs and everything else. Just as a point of clarity to everybody. In case people are worried that my entire content is going to be dedicated to catching up all the things I owe. It won't, but there will be a solid amount of work that's gonna go into that. Considering there is still a art stream and a voice-acted reading stream owed as well. And for everybody that came in late, it is $70 left to reach the karaoke stream goal if anybody wants such a thing to happen. That is the only other remaining major goal for this event, and that was added as a bonus because y'all blew me away at the beginning, so it's like, you know what, fine. I will give you guys something else to reach for. This way, there's something to repay the kindness y'all have been giving me throughout this event. So I really am grateful to anybody that has rated, watched, done literally anything to do with this event. Because if it weren't for y'all, this event wouldn't have gone anywhere. We would have ended off on day one, and I would have went right back to normal schedule. There we go, we have what we need to get the first Chaos Emerald. Ta-da! Shiny rock! Actually emerald-shaped in these days instead of the weird, like, diamond shape that they are in the future. No, 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 don't jump too early. You're just gonna get yourself crushed, and it'll be very funny, but not helpful. Yeah, considering it took us like an hour and a half, I think, to get to the point where we did in this game, pretty safe to say we're gonna end up having to stop before this game is finished. And what I'll probably do is I'll just start over the next time we play it. You're gonna want to hit exclamation donate there, Clyde. That'll get you the link. Because it ended up changing around between sources for someone to donate, so that's why it stayed on a more generic name. I need to get rid of that discount message, though, because the discount has ended. I once again forgot that Sonic doesn't fit in a one-block space, and they will kill him for that. Infinite loop. How? I wanted these rings that are over here. They did not want me to have these rings, however. I see what you've done there. Thank you for the 50 there, Clyde. And if you have any game choices you want to make, let me know. Otherwise, let me know if you want to just pass them on to chat as well. But that will definitely keep the timer alive for a fair bit more time. Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. I suspect I know what two of the choices are going to be then, based on a previous discussion. But I will let Char speak up on that about the whole idea anyway. Meanwhile, Sonic might drown. I jumped between the blocks again, because I'm great at this. Of course, now that we actually have the time, now I'm screwing it all up, because of course I am. Need be all prod char about that at later. But we are now 20 away from the karaoke stream. And that counts any form of money that goes in, so subs, donations, bits, any of the above would count towards that. So admittedly, bits may get a little funny to calculate depending on the amount. So I may do a little bit of rounding there, or just for my sanity. Since one of the parts of this being kind of a hack job that I did here is I did not actually set up a proper meter for it to make it easier on myself. I have to do the calculations in my head. Which thankfully none of them have been hard calculations, so not really an issue. People have been kind enough to use nice round numbers. Probably should have stopped for that special stage, but it's fine. Won't get dumped in the hole this time. There we go, first try. Unlike last time where we got dumped immediately. Yeah, I know, Ochar, you suddenly have responsibility for things again. You too do also just have the option to abdicate responsibility to chat if you want to. The option is open to you. And you also, of course, do not need to decide all of them at once. Like, if you want to just bank them for later, that is also an option. Thank you, Nugs, for the donation. No one else needs to donate for the karaoke goal now. We have reached that goal. So I will have to find out how to set one of those up properly and a time to do that. So look forward to that in the future. There he is. Hope you're doing well all today, bud. And you also now have 5 game choices to make if you so choose. Or you can also pass them on to chat if you wish. That can be from any series, as long as it is a series. And it isn't Kingdom Hearts or the Undertale Deltarune pair. That is an option, yes. If you want that, that is an option. I do own all of the Dark Souls games, so that is a valid choice without any extras needed to be added on to it. Why is there no bubbles nearby? Yes. Give air. Nope, drowned anyway. All because there's so much more delay on the bubbles for this game as opposed to the first game. Yeah, just bear in mind that these guarantee that they will happen. They do not guarantee that they will happen quickly. Okay, even if you chose Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, you do still have 2 choices left, because you donated 50, so... Sure, we can make that happen. I will have to look into that. Actually, is that part of a series, though? Because remember, this has to be parts of series, not single games. So if that is a single game, then that's not out in the pool. Because the idea is that you unlock games in release order in their series. I should have explained that a little bit more, but I've been kind of scrambling a little bit. Turns out that ledge doesn't exist. Understood. Of course that didn't. There's not gonna be any bubbles nearby. Wait, there's one here. Am I gonna drown right in front of a refill again, though? Nope, we're good. Why don't you jump good, Sonic? Fuck's sake. Okay, made it fall, though, which is good enough. Come on. Bubble. 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 And I do also have to point out a other thing, since you wanted Dark Souls. Technically, I would have had to do Demon Souls first, but I have no viable way to make that happen, so I'm just going to go right ahead with Dark Souls from there. And unfortunately, Bloodborne would also be a similar problem. Sure. These do not have to be decided immediately. I just need to know at some point what the other choices are. I have notes of who is owed what amount and everything, so it'll be completely fine. And Lord knows I've got a lot to get through before I run out of things I owe anyway, so it's not like you need to hurry. Getting through Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 is, on their own, going to not be a fast process. And then you add on all of the other things I owe: Hollow Knight, Hades, finishing Sonic 2, Mario 1, Donkey Kong Country 1, Final Fantasy 1 and 2. You know, I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna be busy for a little while. Just a little bit of time. God damn it, I ran into that same landmine that threw everything off every other time. I don't even need to try anymore. There's no way I'm making it with the amount I've lost already. That stupid corner landmine is always such a nightmare. Oh, that's right, this leads right into the boss, so I might die doing this, too. Love that for me. Joke's on you, I'm up here now. I could just keep hitting you for free. Why did I jump again? The answer, I forgot that that arrow was going up high, and I was aiming to jump on the lower arrow, and just way over jumped as well. Let's get a ring or two, and now let's go do that again properly. I hate so much how these arrows work. Oh, come the fuck on. Now that we have more time, I'm sorely tempted to just restart this run. I'll be real with y'all. Because not only did we not really get any continues particularly that I can think of, we've also lost a lot of lives very early on this time. Camera look like now. That's not right. Where is it? Hang on. Let me double check a thing here real quick. Oh no, I did set that to that. Okay, never mind. That is correct. I had indecision about how I was going to set the increasing for time. So I got it backwards which one I had set. But no, that is still set to how I left it. Think. So actually... No, that math doesn't math. It's supposed to be... I may still need to make an adjustment to the timer here in a second. I need to process for a moment here. Make sure I'm not talking out of my ass, because I want to make sure you all get what you're owed. Because the timer might have done a dumb, and I need to figure out if it did or not. Yeah, no, that definitely should be more. I don't... Was anybody actually looking at the timer when these popped? Because as I said before, I can't have it visibly in front of me. I think it did add, but not the amount it's supposed to. Because we are at 4 hours now, so... that should be higher. Okay. The timer on screen down in the bottom right corner there. Yeah. The very ominous red timer. Because it was working fine the other day. But if it broke today, I need to figure that out and fix that. But unfortunately, I don't have things set up in a way that I can see the timer unless I pull up OBS separately. So I didn't see whether it increased or not. That's why I need an answer on that one, if anybody knows. Okay. It didn't add at all. Let me quickly add the time manually then, which is going to take a second. I need to figure out how to do that with this thing. Ah, there we go. Let's see, that should be... Need to do a little bit of math here for a second. I love that this thing just decided to break randomly. That's very helpful. You both donated. Both should have added 150 minutes. Let's make sure this actually works. No, it did not work. Why is it broken now? Oh, I know what happened. No, I know what happened. I did set a cap on it, but I thought that was only going to be a cap of at one time, not a cap at total. That's why it's freaking out. Okay. Let me fix that. I'm still learning how the settings on this new timer works because it's a completely new one. So confusion happens. Except still not. Oh no, I know what happened. Everything's gonna freak out for a second, y'all. Just bear with me. There we go. Now it accounted for those remaining effects properly. I think. Yeah, that's about right. So we are now back past the point where I'll be able to finish the timer tonight. So we will resume based on the timer tomorrow when I run out of gas to keep going for tonight, probably. Let me tell you, 4.5 hours longer tonight probably ain't happening. We'll see. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Char. Based on the amount that'll be left on the timer, we'll probably... Yeah, I know exactly how you feel there. Yeah, based on the amount that'll be left by that point, we'll probably do the chat shows and art stream at that point. Tomorrow. Because that'll be a good wrap-up. Oh, neat, there was an extra life in there this entire time. What do you know? I mean, there's multiple people that you'd need to get to, but I can do that, yes. How many of the Little Nightmares do you want? Do you want all 3 of them since you have 5 choices? Yes, Clyde donated 50, so you ended up being handed 5 choices to make. Like, you don't have to answer this right now, by the way. You can just rest and then figure it out later. I've got it all noted down, so you can just fill that in later if you need to. No, it is a choice per every 10. All right. Hang on, let me pull the list back up, because now you're expecting me to split in too many directions. Okay, so if you're adding Little Nightmares and 2 Final Fantasies, in addition to you now have 4 total for Final Fantasy. 1 Hollow Knight, 1 Hades, 1 Mario, 1 Donkey Kong, and then the 2 Sonic. That's what the totals are for the games currently. So is there any of those in particular that you would like to add to? Well, you handed your choices off to Char, so it's technically Char's problem. I kind of just assumed that was as a given there. Okay. So we're at 4 for those, 2 for those. That gets us up to Sonic 3. And then I just need to add Little Nightmares. Okay, that's your 5. You're done. You're good. You are caught up. And there was, of course, the 3 Dark Souls, but we didn't need to worry beyond that, because that's basically that whole line done anyway. Okay, so there's just 2 left owed to Nugs, and that's that. And of course, the remaining free choices for chat if they wish to use those 7 free choices at any point. Honestly, understandable, Char. You go take care of yourself. Food is important. Food make brain work better. Most of the time. There are some foods that don't make brain work better, but that's a different conversation. Okay, good. I just could not jump while I was rolling there, so I got kind of concerned that my controller had gotten confused when we tabbed out to do the other thing. Yeah, we've got a hard cut at midnight, just so I can actually not destroy my sleep schedule. So we got 2 hours at most left for tonight, and then I will use up the remaining time tomorrow. Just to be clear to everybody on that one. Because as much as I would love to just keep going and going until the timer runs out, my body ain't up to that idea as much. As entertaining an idea as it is to lock the streamer in until little chat gets tired of doing the thing, that really isn't something I can necessarily always do. And away we go. Yeah, depending on how this run goes, we may leave it off at this run so as not to just start a partial one. And this way you'll have more time for the chat chosen art tomorrow. Which, if anybody wants to be there for that, that'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So, bear that in mind, because it will all be prompts from y'all. I will only be making things that y'all want made. Hey, Zeri.
Meep, meep.
You're actually just in time for me talking about the art that'll be happening tomorrow. Since that was one of the goals that was hit. I will be making specifically anything that chat asks to be made as long as it's within reason. Like, obviously, if they ask for anything ridiculous, that's not gonna happen. Am I gonna... Oh no, I'll be able to get 2 more rings around. Oh no, this is the boss fight, so no, I won't be able to get 2 more rings. No extra life for me. I mean, it is obvious, but it's still something that needs to be stated to remind everyone involved not to ask for anything too out there. And that, of course, will be limited to whatever time is left after we're done tonight, so... It probably will not be super long. Unless people make another big push, which, you know, they are more than welcome to make another big push if they want. They will be getting all of the things that they paid for one way or the other. Sonic, why did you have to roll so slow? I was absolutely encouraging you to roll faster. Yeah, because that was the last hit. Well, it doesn't matter. We were gonna lose those rings after we left this stage anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter. I should probably just log the fact that karaoke has been unlocked on here too. That's the one I might forget because it wasn't actually written down on the board. So I've just been keeping it in memory for myself that everything on the board is done. Unlocked. So I'm officially also out of stretch goals to offer. Because I honestly figured it would be ridiculous enough to expect that the amount we had raised in the beginning would be doubled, and yet here we are, with y'all being so damn kind. Which I endlessly appreciate, but I continue to be surprised by. And that statement of y'all being kind does apply to all of you that have been here at all as well. Is remember, one of the most valuable things you can give is your time. So that is very important that you have chosen to share any of that here. Or that hidden spring is there. Rest in peace, Tails. Again. Oh, there's an invincibility in here that I didn't find last time. I'm gonna need to remember how to set my music up properly for tomorrow. There, there's the extra life. Please invincibility last long enough, thank you. This way I didn't have to run across there. Understandable, honestly, but hopefully you'll be able to still get enough rest to get to what you needed. Sounds good, sounds good. Animation does take a lot of damn practice. Ah, yeah, you're probably not gonna get much out of that at that point. There we go, there's a continue. So we have a solid amount of lives and a continue. I just really would love to have the 8 lives we had before we lost all of them last time. So I guess listen to me being greedy and wanting 8 lives instead of 4. The game clearly disagrees. And I suppose I know more about how to get through Metropolis Zone now, so maybe I won't need all 8 lives to get through there. Aha. Ha 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 ha. Man, I wish I believed my own lies sometimes. Life would be a lot easier if I believed my own bullshit. Oh yeah. Really expected that platform to last long enough. Turns out, not so much. Okay, good. I was worried that I wasn't gonna make that jump now that I broke the platform that was in front of it because I wanted the rings. You know, Tails, if you could just avoid the spikes, your life expectancy would drastically increase. Just gotta point that out to you, you know? Of course, you know, diving down pits blindly like that also probably doesn't help. Yeah, to be fair, if it had been a while, then it makes sense that you don't quite have it all down anymore. Let's see if I get hit by the mines in the special stage again. I'll give you a hint. The answer's probably yes. Because they really do expect you to memorize these special stages more than just reacting like I've been. Gonna have to hold that thought because I have to pay a lot of attention here, but I'll read that in a second here. So, a lot of things I can corner of the eye read, but once it goes past a line, I want to make sure I can actually get a good eye on that. You know, Tails, you are really negatively impacting my total when you keep blowing up like that. And then there's the stupid blind corner mine that blows me up, as usual. Don't think we're getting it. Nope. We're just short again. Yeah, that's understandable. This is also why sometimes it can be better not to replay something you like too much. But what is too much for each individual is obviously different. There we go. Now, that one was a freebie, that's why I wasn't worried about not having rings for this fight. Because he just kind of sits there and lets you beat on him, and then it's over. There we go. Understandable. There's just always that risk of exactly what you mentioned, where you might just start to get tired of it or start to dislike it because of one thing or another. So it can be safer to just leave it in memory sometimes. See, things like that always continue to boggle my mind. I just... Like, I understand that you like it, but it just... I don't understand entirely being able to keep doing the same thing so much. Like, even though I'm sure you, like... I would assume added challenges and such to it to expand upon it. Just... That's just one of those things that's just so alien to how my brain works that I struggle to wrap my head around it. I understood before, just... It boggles my mind that that hasn't been burnt to the ground because of doing it that much. I also know people that play the same game literally daily, week in, week out, and somehow don't get tired of it, so that's just one of those, that's always going to be a difference thing, and I don't have to understand it. Hey, if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. I feel like I hold on to the memory of things for too long, so it would just immediately be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what's gonna happen here, I know what happens at this point, I know what's here, there's no surprises, so it just would be kind of to me. But it depends on what you're trying to get out of an experience, too. Welcome back, Natra. Hey, we actually got the second Chaos Emerald, finally. It only took like 10 tries. It really makes me very happy, but also makes me laugh that so many of the ones I made just completely as a joke ended up being the people's favorite emotes. Because I made that purely because it's like, you know what, this will be funny. And then just there we are. And there's also a reverse version for leaving as well. See, that's another perfect example of one that I made because it was funny and it stuck really hard. I do genuinely like the buff one because I think it's just very entertaining. Whereas there's a part of my brain that looks at the entering and exiting ones and it's like, you know, it's a little janky. I could definitely clean that up at this point. But the jank's also kind of part of the fun, so I don't want to at the same time. Oh, missed that, but that's fine. Special stage. We finally get to see the third special stage. Look at this. It's orange now. Hooray. I'm pretty sure this one has a lot more mines in it. Just kind of scattered around. That's fine, Tails. If you don't pick up any rings, you don't lose them when you explode. I couldn't avoid that. I didn't get enough momentum to make it loop around. Because I hesitated, because I was like, but what if there's a mine where I loop around too? Which if I had looped when I tried to, I would have landed on a mine. So I don't think we're getting that third emerald anytime soon. Pretty sure that's just that's not gonna happen. Unless I was a lot more awake than I am at this point. I'm definitely fading a bit. Since it is late. You see, I thought I was gonna be cheeky and just stick to normal schedule, and it's like, you know what, then the amount of time left in the timer will fit in nicely into this time block here, and then I won't have to worry too much. That's because people won't be expecting me to stay on for long, and it'll all work out neatly. And then, you know, then the Money Nation attacked. Which I'm endlessly grateful for everybody donating. I'm just being a smartass. Don't mind me. Just wanted to make sure that was clear before anybody took that the wrong idea. And it's like, oh, he's not happy that we gave him money. It's like, no, I'm actually eternally grateful for that. But I wanted to try to be funny at the same time. I still want to remake the rolling emote, too. 'Cause I still really like it. The only thing is, I know I can actually, like, hand animate it now. Instead of using Twitch's rotation thing. And, you know, I had more detail and all of that. I don't know why I thought that was gonna work. We learned before that doesn't work, but I was gonna try it again anyway. There we go. At least I didn't have to redo that fight a couple times like I did before. Great success. We are making, I think, faster progress this time. Overall, despite me having to stop to fix the timer. Ears can definitely be a tricky one. It depends on what's living in it, really. Some things can adapt to live in oil, probably. And it's just as well that it's an ocean full of robots. Yeah, ears are tricky. I have not dealt with ears that much still, because I don't have them. But, I can definitely tell you from toying with ideas is for things that ears can be really tricky to animate. There have been a few secret projects in the background that have involved ears, and some of them have been scrapped because I do not have the understanding for that yet. Like, not scrapped, but like backburnered. Well, as you know, I'm no better about that, so That's something we both need to work on. How did I end up hitting those spikes when I should have landed on the... Like, did I just pass through the edge of that platform? Or did he slide off? Because I genuinely, like, blinked as I approached the platform thinking I was gonna be fine. And I just completely missed everything going wrong, apparently. Yeah, considering the way things are looking right now, by the way, don't be surprised if karaoke doesn't happen until after Christmas. So it may very well be, like, early January that ends up happening, because I need to figure out a lot about how to do one of those properly. And figure out, like, a list and everything. I'm gonna have to go bother some people to get some answers about that. Does platform go back up? Does it stay there? I might be able to despawn it. So I can get to that checkpoint that's under it. Nope, it's just there for good now. Never mind. It was an idea. It was not an idea I was allowed to use, apparently. What the fuck hit me there? Oh, the other one shot through the one I was going for, I guess? And the bullet was inside him, so I couldn't see it? I don't know. A lot of weird stuff happens with these octopi, and I don't care for it. That one was my fault. Like, out of all the times hitting spikes, that one I can 100% own as my fault. But we got through without losing any lives, so still good enough. What do you mean with that, Adira? Yeah, you know, that's fair. I also dodged the Sonic hyperfixation bullet. But, you know, more power to those that are Sonic fans. I'm just not one of them. This is definitely not on the list of things that would have happened without people asking for it. I don't have anything hard against it, I just don't have anything really for it. Oh, that could be a few games. I don't think Bram Stoker's Dracula had Jack the Ripper in it at all. Might have, though. I just don't know. The zombies could be any game with Dracula, really. Oh! I know what Master of Darkness is, yeah. I've almost beaten that in the past. It's a very interesting game, even if it can be very mean in a couple spots, like that one maze section. Definitely wasn't something I had when I was younger, so I only encountered it in more modern times. And I know I've streamed it at least once. And I think that's when one of the two times I'd gotten to the maze section and not made it through. Because I'd gotten tired of it. Oh. Glad these platforms work so well. Oh, now you make it up there. Of course you fucking do. Living in embodiment of all my hate sometimes. Fucking seahorse hiding in the walls. I would say it worked out completely fine for you there, Yara. Like, I could definitely blame my youth for some of my taste in jank games. I mean, it really shouldn't be a surprise. People paid to see this game, so that's why we're here. You missed Sonic 1 happening earlier, or because we already got through that. I do now owe Sonic 3 as well, so you'll get to see that at some point as well. We'll see. Technically, that wasn't the request, but I may very well do that anyway. Maybe as it's more interesting. Yeah, that's about what my response to a lot of them were too, there, Zeri. I think we had all three, I just only ever played two more than, like, the tiniest bit. And even that wasn't much, like I'd mentioned on other occasions. It just didn't do much for me, so I just wasn't interested. I had plenty of other things to play that I was more interested in. Yes, you're gonna aim the laser at me again. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was gonna shoot another shot at the floor there or not. It's interesting how some of that worm makes contact and some of it doesn't. And again, why am I expecting consistency from this game? There we go. Another Eggman fight down. To be clear for everybody coming in, this is the second run through here because we failed right about at the end, pretty much. The end is awful. I'm not a fan of Sonic in particular in general. We've had this conversation before. I have no attachment to this series, period. Sonic 2 out of the three was the one I had played the most, from what I remember. But that still has no real strong attachment either way. I do think the end of the game is also kind of horrendous. And I'm speaking just from current experience on that one because of the amount of times we fell off just because of jank getting through the wing carrier. Because they did not design good jumping off of metal bars at all. So I think that's a fair criticism to make, that really should not have been used as heavily as it was. Oh, I know multiple Sonic fans, and I have watched many people much better at this than me play this. That does not mean I have any particular reason to do it myself. Well, you're only in the minority because of those that have spoken. That doesn't mean that there aren't Sonic fans that just haven't spoken up. Lord knows the series has a lot of fans. Absolutely. Yeah, that's fair. Everyone has their thing. well, some of us ended up with their thing being a little of everything. 'Cause I feel like that's what I ended up with. Like, I have no strong attachments to anything, but I have a little bit of everything in me. Whereas most people are much greater fans of one or two things. I'm surprised Sonic 1 isn't your least favorite mainline 2D Sonic, honestly. And I'm just basing that on the experience I just had with that today. Is it feels a lot less responsive and less usable than in the other two. Like, it's not bad by any means, but it does not feel as fluid. Absolutely. Everybody's tastes are different. See, that's fair. That's fair to put it higher because of it being experimental. I can understand that. And yeah, I'm with you on that, Yura. BioShock's very cool. I have played it. It's not my favorite of any particular type. It is very good. But I'm also, like we've talked about before, somebody that's very hard to impress with a lot of things. Because I have had such a wide experience at this point. And to a certain degree, I think there's a layer of burnout in there, or potentially interfering with some enjoyment as well. And it genuinely takes a lot of work to impress me with anything, and it mostly has to impress me mechanically, which can make it very difficult for some series to do much for me. Because some series thrive on their charm and things like that instead of their mechanics being particularly impressive. Well, that's kind of what I mean, yeah, is you are much more interested in an aspect of it that has nothing to do with how it functions mechanically. I don't really have that with a lot of things. That's where one of the splits in there comes from. Like, I really don't know how to explain what it is with my brain on that, but I'm very much more swung by mechanics. The setting and everything does matter. The mechanics are just a greater focus for me. Which I think in part it's just because it's something I can quantify a lot better than just how it feels, I suppose. I did not want the extra stage, I just wanted to jump up and push the button. Everybody looks for different things, yeah. Honestly, I enjoy a lot of fighting game stories because usually they end up being over the top in a few ways, so they can actually be very fun. And some of them are surprisingly deep. So, no judgment there at all. I may not go seeking external lore, but they're enjoyable. I mean, that's the thing. I would question people about particularly liking League itself, but they do actually do well with their lore. Like, they have made solid characters and decent lore. So I have no judgment there. I just sometimes raise an eyebrow when people really like the game itself. And mostly that's me being funny, not me being serious about questioning why they like that. See, I would be in much the opposite position, because I've played Heroes of the Storm and I've played League of Legends. I could not get into Dota at all. But they're different flavors of similar things, so it makes sense that some would work for some people and some would work for other people. Though, that said, I also couldn't really get into League either. So I as much blame that on the fact that I got into that so late. That getting into those is kind of like a closed box to a certain degree. Honestly, that's a pretty good summary of Tekken plots, yeah. Is they're either incredibly impressive, or holy hell, I actually am having feelings because of a fighting game story. What is happening here? That's fair. See, that's how I got dragged into the two I played, is because my best friend at the time was very big into League, so it's like, fine, I'll try your thing. And it just did not go great. It went well enough that I played it for a while, but not enough that I enjoyed my experience a lot. Heroes of the Storm went a bit better because I got in on the ground floor of that, so the learning curve was not as miserable to grasp, and it was a much more player-friendly game? It's more complicated than that. Like, at its start, it more or less was that. Yeah. It started off by basically taking the Warcraft 3 map, much like Dota ended up doing, because that's what Dota was built off of, and adapting the idea. That's basically what the MOBA genre came from to begin with. That whole genre more or less spawned from that Warcraft 3 custom map, as far as I'm aware. It still is. Like, those are the two, like, big players in that genre, pretty much, still. At least of that specific type. Now that hero shooters and such have kind of become more of their own thing that's branched out a bit more, why won't this fucking screw come back down here? Guess I'll just have to go a different direction. Hopefully there's a different direction I can even go. Doesn't really look like it. So I don't fancy my chances going through those gears. But maybe now that I've gone further back, maybe now that stupid screw will have respawned. Yeah, that entire situation is fucky. I honestly don't know which one genuinely came first. Thanks, game. Thanks for killing me in a spot where I shouldn't even have been able to fit through enough to even be counted as being crushed. Welcome to one of the things that makes me dislike Sonic games so much, is jank shit like that. 'Cause that's not fun jank, that's just, hey, you died over dumb reasons again, jank. And I just cannot avoid being frustrated by that. Because you can claim that was my fault, and technically, yes, it was. But most games would have stopped you and just dropped you there instead of killing you. And no, people still have debates about that, and they also will debate to the ends of the earth. Oh, this one's better. No, this one's better. It doesn't fucking matter. Play whichever one you enjoy more, is the sensible byline there. No. No. You need to really remember which communities you're talking about here, and the immense capacity for being a bunch of little bastards that's involved in both of those communities. And bear in mind the fact that a lot of that arguing is mostly just because they enjoy arguing, not because either side actually cares about what the end result is. Because it all really boils down to they want their thing to be better than the other thing, so they will claim that one's ripping off of the other and ignore the fact that there are facts in front of them, whether their facts agree or not. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do in that genre in general, if I'm honest. I cannot think of a single game of League that I had the chat on for. I literally just interacted with the people I was actively in a group with, and everybody else, I would help you if I had the opportunity, and I didn't care otherwise. Just trying to interact with that pool in general just did not end well. It ended about as well as me going up into those spikes. You see, the other thing that always would get me in trouble with that genre of game is I don't give a fuck what people think the good builds and such are, or ooh, this is the most efficient thing. I don't care about any of that. So that got me in trouble constantly with the public chat in those games. Because you'll be doing just fine, and people will bitch anyway because you built the wrong thing. Even though you leave them miles behind in the stats because they just suck at the game and are only good at complaining. Yeah, and I don't care. It's a video game. I'm going to play it the way I want to, and as long as I'm not completely devastating the team, then it shouldn't fucking matter. But people are slaves to the meta in that genre of game in entirely too many cases. So I just don't care about touching that genre at all anymore. Apologies if the soapbox is upsetting to anyone else out there listening, but I'm just... This is how things end up the way they are for me. See, that's the difference, though. People stop screaming when they notice it worked for you. I had people screaming at me even though I was outperforming them. That's where I draw issue from. I'm like, I get it if it ain't working, but it was working. Why are you mad? Right. That is a necessary skill in that genre, is being able to work around situations. Well, then they can stay mad. They can be mad until it takes them to an early grave, for all I care. Because honestly, people that are angry over things like that probably aren't gonna do great overall anyway. And while I do not wish them ill, I also don't exactly wish anything grandly positive for them either. Is, see, to me, they are much like that fucking crab. They are a nuisance. No, and I'll be honest, I played into the problem there a little bit. I will freely admit this. Well, see, they're passionate in a way that's not helpful to furthering the thing they like. That's the problem. All they do by being passionate of that type is push people away from the thing they like. Which you would think they don't want, but I don't think they understand that. And, like, I'm not even saying that that any of these people that I'm speaking of here are necessarily even bad people. They can be completely fine people, but be just really too set in their ways or too quick to be angry about something that they shouldn't be getting that angry about. Like, at the end of the day, it's a game. I understand being passionate about your game, but just, like, be passionate in a constructive way. Don't try to tear people down just because you disagree with the way they're doing something. Like, is that too much to ask for? I don't think so. Oh yeah, there are certain circumstances where you already know that it's over, but yeah, exactly. You just work around it as best you can, and it plays out how it plays out. But see, that's a different scenario, though, because that is something that they did that didn't work. So at least trying to correct them makes sense at that point. Yep, I know exactly what you mean there, Yura. I did have a habit, though, after a while of starting to do it on purpose, I'll be honest. Like, I would start actively building the most bass-ackwards thing just to mess with people I could tell were people like that. It's like, you know what, fine. I know you're gonna go out of your way to twist my nose, so I'll just twist your nose too. Who can play that game? This is how we had situations where I was a support with the highest damage instead of everything else, while still keeping everybody alive. Because I would do my job, but also fuck with people at the same time. It's just fun to do that as long as you don't completely compromise your intended objective. Like, obviously, yes, make sure to actually properly be a support, but they shouldn't be relegated to just staring at the people they're supporting, unlike what some people believe. Well, it also matters more in Dota as far as kills and such go. Yeah, because they need that, because that's how the progression for that works. And it matters in League as well. I was much more of a menace support in Heroes of the Storm where it didn't matter, because the experience in the team was shared for those that don't know how that game worked. As long as your team was doing what they needed to do, everyone was gaining experience. Which is why I liked it a lot more, because it became a lot less of a set in its ways experience, because you had more ways to actually achieve success than everything has to be fed to the one guy that you're gonna have win the game for you. There's a part of me that misses my Heroes of the Storm days, and then I remember the rest of the games that happened with that game, and I'm like, you know, no, I don't miss that at all. I don't miss that game after all. Reality kicks in after a bit of thinking. Oh right, there's still more enemies. I forgot that it didn't end after I passed that part. I enjoyed the times where me and the group I played with got to have the fun, goofy games where we would do silly setups and it would actually at least be somewhat okay. Even if we didn't win, we at least had a good time. And then there were the games where we just weren't allowed to fucking do anything. And those are the ones that suck, where you just don't get to play the game. Because you just get shut down so hard. I'm sure plenty of people do. You just gotta find people that aren't... how do I phrase this? No, I'll just rip the band-aid off and say you just have to find people that aren't sexist. I had a worse phrase for that in mind, but I'll just go with the objective term of you gotta find a team that isn't a bunch of sexist pricks. Which, you know, your mileage may vary on that field, but, you know. I didn't want to say it, because it's not my game, so I'm like, I'm gonna be nice and not say that specifically, even though I knew it was true. Yeah, that's exactly why I was thinking to say it there, Europe, is it's a genre problem in a lot of cases. It's gotten better to a certain degree from what I'm aware of, but it's not fixed, and it probably will never be fixed until just in general people are better. See, that's a good mix, I would say, is you don't have anybody that feels like they're the single one of one or the other in the group, which can be awkward, and you also just don't have too many issues, particularly. Yeah, there was definitely plenty of that as well, Yura. I didn't experience it directly, but some friends of mine definitely caught the wrong end of that. Which those were some of the few times I took to the field in the public chat and set people on fire. Because, oh boy, you do not call people particularly fucked up words, especially not over something fucking stupid, and expect me to walk away. I definitely went to war a few times in those chats. Because I would have the chat off, but some of my friends would leave it on because they actually want to interact with these people and coordinate, which can be a mistake at times, but that's neither here nor there. And there are times where people got heated enough that I'm like, okay, fine. I'm turning the public chat on, and they're not gonna like what they get. Is they did not understand the degree to which I can multitask, and even then I had an unfortunate gift for making words hurt. Did I enjoy that? No. Aside from the somewhat satisfaction of at least fighting for my friend. Yeah, no, there's an unfortunate amount of that. And the problem is, there are some of them that say it as a joke, and there are some that say it because they believe it. And with it being in text, it can be very hard to tell sometimes. But I feel like more often than not, that the groups in those games in particular mean it. And it is very unfortunate. that those people really are that far behind. Yeah, you know what? That's a lot more guaranteed. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. See, I feel like since they were a couple, that was more an in-joke type thing for them, rather than it necessarily being a hateful thing. Though, that also depends on the couple, too. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's still a problem then. Never mind. I tried. I was given benefit of the doubt where I could. Yeah, no, it's a problem. Yeah, we'll finish that thought after the ad ends so everybody can hear me properly about this again. So we can actually properly have the discussion. Meanwhile, I'm probably going to keep dying to this fight. Because we're back where we lost again, and I still don't know a good way to handle this. It's a small space, and it's just kind of a clusterfuck in here. And I'm not seeing a fast way to deal with this. Oh, and my only ring fell through the floor immediately! Thanks, game! Which, that's a whole other question. If you're supposed to pick up the rings again to sustain your life, why do they fall through the floor so easily? Why? Like, I understand that they don't want you just infinitely picking the rings back up. I understand that. But having it on the first time it gets knocked out of you, just dropping straight out of the world. Or that situation right there, where they just fly off into nothingness immediately. You know, great game design. I get to have so much fun in this fight because I don't get to have any means of protecting myself, and I have no room to fight. Welcome back from the ad, Zira. The ad timing is very weird, so I'm waiting till the timer says it's done to follow through on that line of thought we were on. Oh yay, I bounced back into damage because God forbid I have control over my life. This is why I say the end part of this game is not good, because that fight in particular is terrible. Like, I'm sure if I sat there and spent a good, like, 10 or 20 minutes just staring at it and waiting, I probably could get further in that fight, but I ain't got that kind of time. And I'm sure, as games of this era are wont to have, there's probably a quick kill for it as well. But God knows I don't know it. You're good. That's just the nature of Twitch. There will be ads. Yeah, no. I have not touched a competitive multiplayer game in a long time because of exactly the kind of things you're talking about. I didn't experience anything like specific to any particular group or anything, because obviously I am not of any group that they can target. But it's simply the fact that a lot of the people I encountered were just shitty people. So I'm like, why should I spend my time interacting with shitty people when I can just go do my own thing and have a much better experience? Well, yeah, you've got that competitive streak that I do not have to anywhere near as significant a degree. Like, I have some, but I do not have that anymore. See, I have the competitive nature still, but I do not have the urge to compete with these people that have already lost the more important game of being a decent human being. Like, I do not view competing with that as competition. I knew I was gonna get fucked there at least once. Oh yeah, no, that... Telling me I can't do something would be the fastest way to get me to actually pick one of those back up again. But outside of genuinely getting pushed into a situation like that, I'm never touching any of that again. I even made the mistake of playing Siege for a bit. So that was, again, at the behest of others, which is how I got into most of those situations. And that, too, was a toxic shithole. Like, I mostly just wanted to play the PvE side, but it's like, no, let's try the other bit. It's like, this is going to go poorly. We all know how this is going to end, and what do you know? We had a miserable day being changed because of that. Is you have... Part of the nightmare of that game is you have people just killing off their teammates because they disagree with each other. This is the wonder of having a wide variety of language at my disposal, is I can throw people real hard by just combining words that people would normally have never used in the sentence together. Except the sentence makes complete sense. It really is one of the greatest joys in life. Give it time. Though honestly, I cannot recommend being proficient at English considering it's a language that's not even proficient at itself. There we go, we got that life back. You know, I never phrased it that way now that I think about it. The language not being proficient at itself until now, but yeah. See, I would debate whether it makes sense even when you start looking at it. Because there are pieces even early on that don't make any sense. But you're right, it gets worse once you dig in. You're 100% right that it gets worse at that point. Oh good, I'm glad that ring just didn't pick up. Passed right through me, didn't pick it up, didn't realize till too late because I wasn't staring at the ring counter. Remind me again why people like this game? Like, just bear in mind, I'm not genuinely angry at it or against anybody that likes this. It is, for the most part, for the fun that I'm poking at it right now. But it does still stand to reason that I question some of this. Because some of this design is worth questioning. Like that. Like the fact that I clipped through the edge of that platform and died. Is God forbid it give you any grace as to the top of that platform? No, they'd rather give grace to the spikes. Because that's a good idea. And yeah, you're right about that, Layer Hero. Because 90% of people I've ever met that like these games have played them to death. So I think they lose perspective of the beginner's pain. So they don't have that negative aspect to it anymore. So based on how I'm feeling at this point, this is definitely the last attempt for tonight. I will genuinely get angry after doing another full line of this and then ending up in this shithole situation again. Yeah, no, that sounds like a Sonic fan. Oh yeah. And I would be one of those people that, even though I like Mega Man as a series, I would absolutely tell you straight up that there's plenty of them that are not that are not well laid out or well thought out. Because they are difficult for difficulty's sake in some cases, and I don't accept those either. Same goes with classic Castlevania. There's parts of those that I'm like, that should not have been made. That should not be a thing. And those are series I dearly like. But there are parts of those series that I'll still point out and go, no, this ain't right. This ain't okay. And look, by the power of anger, we managed to get through. I understand the allure of speedrunning to a degree. Part of it ends up being it's a dissection of the game, so you end up learning a lot about the game on levels that the average player would never experience. So I understand that part of it. And it can be fun just to try it out, I'm sure. Well, the thing is, there's a difference between exploring the game as it is and then trying to break it. Part of what draws some speedrunners is trying to break it. And I enjoy breaking in games, as you know. So that aspect of it I can understand. Yeah, it depends on the category, the type of runner, the game itself. I think we still have one continue left, so we actually do have a genuine shot at this. But there is, I believe, multiple fights here. Because that's also a great idea. Yeah. And that was gonna be the part I was gonna get to, is there's those that you're mentioning of just that want to be good at the thing and fast at the thing without breaking anything. Is people really do enjoy optimizing as well. Like, they thrive on just optimizing out their routing and everything. And I'll be honest, I was drawn into that idea briefly once. Because I enjoyed Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow to the point where I was willing to actually try to learn to be fast at parts of those games. But I would never, like, recommend people try to do something like that just off the cuff either. And yeah, BioShock I feel like is one that kind of throws the experience off to speedrun it, since the large majority of people's enjoyment of that game is the story and everything, and speedrunning kind of ignores the concept of story. Like, that is, I think, something most people could agree would be the one downside majorly to speedrunning. is the fact that you lose out on any existing plots and such. I cannot for some reason grip that pattern right now. It's a simple pattern. He runs across and then he jumps. The brain's just not firing on it. But we do still have one more continue left to try to get to grips with it. The problem is, you have to do this whole sequence without any rings. If you don't have rings when you get here, you have to do all of this without rings. And this is why I say this is one of those segments that I'm like, why? Why did you think this was okay? Because you spend a lot of the game being able to at least take a hit. And let's take into account what happened there. I landed on top of him and died. You can claim that his spines are saw blades, but that makes his hitbox on the top there garbage if that's true. Which, you know, he moves them around as well, but I'm wearing shoes. If I just land on there lightly and die, maybe that's not okay. Because that also means that it's much harder to actually land on him without just dying. Nope. I can't split my focus for this fight, because I do not have any hits to take. But I also just don't have the focus left at this point, because we've been doing this for too long. Yeah, Mario 64 is an enjoyable speedrun because you can genuinely just see people very skilled at the game doing their thing without needing to break it much. I got it fucking backwards again. Oh yeah. It is not a speedrun I would recommend people get into, but it's an enjoyable run to watch. Kind of like how people would watch, like, Olympic swimmers and things like that, and it's like, I respect how good these people are at the thing they're doing. I ain't gonna do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and pause the timer here, because that was the last shot at that I have in me tonight. I'm not gonna be able to go for another one like that. I am just too tired now, and I don't want to do a partial. Yeah, the backward long jump is a fascinating thing to behold, and the fact that they keep learning new ways to apply things that just are in those games is very interesting. Like that's like I was talking about, the degree of dissection that they get to with these games. Like, they figure them out to the point where they realize that they can do things like that. Yeah, we briefly ran through the chemical plant a couple times today, and now we're just gonna see the demo of it while I'm figuring out where we're going. And then we finish up what we're talking about. Because with a choice between ending at a reasonable point tonight and not being able to be effective tomorrow, or no, I mixed the two. Basically, I choose between being effective tomorrow or going late tonight, and I would rather be effective tomorrow than go late tonight. I just need to make a decision here about where I'm gonna pass everybody on to. Which it is pretty late, so a lot of my usual choices are obviously no longer on because a lot of them came here. So that's a thing. When I can, yeah. It's not a guaranteed thing, nor is it an always thing for anybody to do it. But it's kind of just one of those things. I have a surprising amount of options still, and that's kind of what's delaying the decision here a little bit. Is, you know, the usual layered decision of like, okay, how much do I want to support somebody? How much do I want to have to try to process when I get there, etc. There is a similar thing in YouTube. Like there's like redirecting or something like that that you can do, but it's not like a expected part of the culture type deal like it is here. And yeah, I could definitely see how it'd be stressful. It definitely can be stressful to me sometimes, but that's why I'm so particular about the people I choose, is it reduces my stress with it. I don't know if it ever was like a big thing. I just know that I've heard people talking about that. Is there were people making the transfer from Twitch to YouTube trying to figure out how to do all the same things there, basically. And that was like, oh yeah, this is the next closest thing we have, and it doesn't quite work the same, nor does it quite work well from what I remember people talking about with it. But it's just a thing that exists. And I can't even guarantee that it's actually a thing, because I never checked or tested it myself. But these are people that know their stuff well enough that I would believe them. I mean, you could already tag other YouTube channels much the same as you could here, so I would assume that that's not that big a step to jump to. Okay, so they just made it a little better to use instead of having to sit there and manual type everything. See, the problem is a lot of that's going to come off to people as just being late to the party, though, is the problem. And I can't say that they're wrong to say that, because these are things that other things have already had. It's good that they have it now, but they could have had that a long time ago. But I'm also bitter towards YouTube because of long-standing things, so take what I say with a grain of salt about YouTube. Despite the fact that I use it significantly, I still have a lot of negative past to point towards YouTube. And I'm glad that you enjoy it. I have things to work on my side with that is the thing. Like, I would not begrudge anybody enjoying it, and I'm sure it does have its positives. Actually. Huh? Yeah. I wish I could make quick decisions. Absolutely, Yura. Thank you to everybody for being here. I will make this decision soon. It's just I've got a lot to sift through, so it's taking a second. I would like to give more people a genuine shot. And no, that's just too much for me to deal with right now. There's somebody I do want to raid, but they have a lot of people in right now, and I'm like, I just can't deal with that right now. But they're genuinely a wonderful person, so I'm like, I want to support, but they already have so much. Brain split, cannot decide. You're pretty far in, so you're probably not going to be on much longer yourself. Like, I always hate how many layers my brain goes to on making this decision. Like, just click a thing and go. Like, no, I need to think about it. I want to make sure I send people to a good thing. We're wrapping up. One of these days, I will be less stubborn about this. And that might be a good day. It might not. Of course, it never helps that I keep getting bombarded with ads when I try to check what somebody's doing at the time. One of these days, I need to just give in and actually, like, take Twitch Turbo or something so I can actually go check. Yeah. See, I don't have as much problem on that one, or at least no one has been vocal about that. A lot of the time, though, it's I look at it and go, I don't care for that, so I do not want to move everybody over to see that, so I just won't deal with that. Maybe. Yeah. And I feel bad about that sometimes because, like, I know it's not entirely fair to withhold support from people because of what they're playing. Well, outside of some circumstances, like the unfortunate people that are still playing some of the AI generated garbage that I have not managed to trim out of the list entirely yet. That's a different situation. Uh, keep going over here and thinking about this one. They're also doing a whole big event and can't tell enough about what's going on. No. Yeah, you go enjoy your breakfast there, Zeri. I will figure this out here in a minute. This is why I turn the timer off when I go to pick a raid target, because I know y'all will be losing a lot of time to me agonizing over this decision. Tell you what, I'm gonna sit through this ad in the background so that I hopefully don't get hit with an ad when we raid over here, and we'll do that. So we'll be raiding out here in a few seconds, hopefully. So, reminder, we will be doing the chat shows and art stream tomorrow as long as I don't suddenly have, like, no mental capacity for it tomorrow, which can happen. If such a situation happens, we'll either try again at this, play Donkey Kong Country or something, and then the art stream will end up getting shifted to another time. Okay, yeah, they are actively there right now, so yeah, we'll go there. That'll be fine. Except I can't remember how to spell their goddamn name the second it left my line of sight. Thanks, brain. And it's not one that I can just grab the first couple letters and have it find it. There's too many people that share the same handful of letters, and I don't remember the one separating letter. God damn it, where did you go? There we go. It was that letter. Okay. We'll go see Aki Hoshikawa, who's doing date everything right now. I seem to recall that I've had good interactions with them before. I don't have a ton of strong memories attached to them specifically off the top of my head. But my brain is also fairly cooked, so I might just be forgetting something. I know they're good people. That's the one important thing there, so we'll go with it. So, thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you to everyone that's rated, everyone that's donated. If any of you are still here, genuinely thank you so much for continuing to help make this event an incredible time. And I will hopefully be able to keep a good result going on the event for y'all tomorrow. Good to Aki, she's good people, and I'll see y'all next time. Good night, everybody.